Many young people in Ghana today have great educational dreams and ambitions. However, many of these dreams and ambitions are shattered as a result of financial constraints. Many of them wish to become doctors, nurses, lawyers, teachers, and many more, which would go a long way to contribute to the development of the nation as a whole. But how do they achieve this when the cost of education has become so high for them to be able to afford, especially in this unfriendly economy? And most importantly, what is the role of student leaders in this regard? Are they in to serve the purpose or to serve the interest of students, or they are just the usual politicians we all know? Good morning and welcome to the Scholars Forum, where we inform to reform. Today, I'll be joined by three outstanding gentlemen to share their point of view on the recent increments in school fees and other matters arising. Stay connected. I'm Kincaid.
So I think we had it on hold because of this interview.
Okay.
But right after this interview, I think by Monday, we would go back to the Dean of Students to inquire what they have done so far about our demands. If nothing has been done, then we will probably have to take it external, either to the High Court, or we petition the National Notes to come in so that we could also just do something just like UG is doing.
So I think for purposes of transparency,
yes,
it is good they show us the breakdown of the fees.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you know the components. This is what I'm paying for. This is what my money is being used for.
Yes.
But it is so, it's very blind to be paying fees without knowing what you're actually paying for. Yes, but do you think it has really reached the extent of, mentioning the court and all that?
Yes, I think it has, because we have intellectually asked for those information. I mean, for instance, the SRC cannot go and present a budget to the management without spelling out the single unit or composition of every item on the budget.
Okay, I think that's clear. That's clear. Yes. So SRC, I mean, management should try to bring out the breakdown of the fees, so that students will be know what they are paying and all that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Yes, Honorable Hamdawi. Yes, share your idea with us. Let's hear from you.
Okay.
Yes. Once you are in the heart of the helms of affairs. Yes.
Okay, again, my name is Sayo Amdawi, and good morning to all your cherished listeners.
Yes.
Okay, you said we should assess the economy of Ghana today.
Yes. And the impact it has on university students, including yourself.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Ideally, or if we are to talk how things are supposed to be, you and I know that things are not going on well.
Okay.
Just like last year. Unlike last year, prices of goods and services have increased. The cost of living has increased. Everything has increased. And ideally, even without the increment of school fees or the increment of anything, it will affect us in our daily lives. It will increase the burden from parents on parents, the enrollment of students, and not even to talk about the increment of the school fees.
Okay. So basically, you are saying that the economic hardship has already affected students.
It has already affected
without even increment of fees.
Without even the increment of
because I think basically I think I can relate to what you are saying, because once you are coming to school, you have a lot of things to buy. You buy soap, you buy clothes, you buy everything, virtually everything, right? Sure. And so already it is affecting you.
Already it's affecting students. Okay. And talking about the 15% increment on school fees, this is drafted by the Parliament of Ghana and approved by BTEC, which affect the entire student populace. Okay, let's take it. Assuming your father were having 2 kids, if they all attended free education. Right now they are enrolling to the university.
And the university is not free.
And the university, that place is not free. You have to pay for their school fees. Okay. You are just sitting all of a sudden, they tell you that there's 15% increment. How would you feel? So me personally, even initially, I wasn't in support of this 15%. Not up to certain schools take it upon themselves to increase. Okay, so like I said, all these universities with the increment of more than 15%, ideally I don't think it's right. And even with the 15% increment, although there's justification on it, but generally I don't think it should have been increased with the 15%. Just like my brother said, with the GET fund has been cutted more than even half of it.
Okay.
And most of these universities, these are their other sources of finance, quite apart from these school fees. And sometimes it's reasonable when they say they are increasing school fees by 15%. I can remember last we met our school vice chancellor. He was stating that even this GET fund that we are talking about, that don't even come to the school.
Where does it go to?
It's just a name.
It's just a name.
It's just a name.
I see.
The school itself doesn't receive the GET fund. So there are so many sources of
Ghana is
finance.
interesting.
It's depending on the school fees.
Okay.
Like even for him, he would have loved that the 15%, but they should have do it 20%.
Really?
You get it? Because sometimes you have to squeeze. You have to provide certain things. You know, our school, we are lacking infrastructure. We are lacking many things. As a young developing school, 3 years, unlike UG, which is 76 years, we can't compare. Sometimes for development to come, we need to compromise.
But do you think because we need development, we should put students in a tight corner?
That's what I said firstly.
Okay.
This 15%, me personally, I don't support it.
Okay.
But because of certain reasons, we just all have to buy into it. Because you know, things are changing.
Okay,
and
that's
the cost of living is changing.
Exactly.
Last year, the price that I used to buy certain things is no longer the same as today.
The price you used to buy government, it has increased. That's okay. Okay. So away from that, right? Let me start the second conversation with you. So away from that, do you think that the government is to be blamed for this or the school management? Because I believe we all live in Ghana here, right? And those who have done the increment or wherever it's coming from, they themselves know that the economy has really gone bad and people are really struggling. As you said, the cost of what? Goods alone has affected university students. Yet they have gone ahead to increase school fees. So do we blame school management, the university management, or we should blame the government? Who should we apportion this blame to?
Oh, definitely. This one is a very clear answer. The managers of the economy should be blamed.
Okay.
If
why?
If we were buying A4 sheet for, let's say, 30 Ghana cedis, right now A4 sheet is 100 Ghana cedis, definitely is affected by a certain cost or certain things in the economy. Definitely the manager should be blamed.
Okay.
Not the university.
So in your opinion, the university shouldn't be blamed, but rather the management, or is it the managers of the economy?
The managers of the economy.
Okay. So what of those universities who have decided to increase it beyond the 15%?
So those universities who have decided to increase it beyond it, most of them, they are having justifiable reasons.
Okay.
Of which national knows, like I said initially, we don't see it to be the very reason why they should come and increase the fees. For instance, UG like this, they are stating that for over 2 years now, they've not increased their school fees.
Okay.
And due to that, that's why they want to increase it even more than the 15%.
Okay.
You and I, we saw the demonstration that students are exhibiting and all that. Even yesterday, they met Parliament on this. And in a large or in a fair square, I don't think the university crowd should be blamed.
Okay.
The managers of the economy should be blamed.
Okay.
Just like you and I too, we should be blamed.
So in your own opinion, you feel that University of Ghana, having increased fees for 2 years, they have done well by increasing it in the 3rd year?
It's not my own opinion. That's what we are saying.
Okay.
They've not increased school fees for a certain number of years.
Okay.
Due to that, they are adding up the increment
Alright.
to just pile it up on students.
Okay.
And bear in mind that it's not the students who are paying for it.
Okay.
It's their parents.
Okay.
And the burden goes straight forward to the parents, not the students.
That's fine.
Sometimes the rollout or even the dropout of school will increase.
That's okay.
Same way you and I should be blamed.
Okay.
As well as the managers of the economy. Sometimes there will be inflation and prices will
So we are blaming it entirely on the managers of the economy, which is the government of the day, right?
The government of the day.
All right. Let me move to Honorable Razak. Yes. So Mr. Razak, who do you think we should blame? Should we blame the university management or we should blame the government of Ghana?
Just like he said, you see, all this is a result of how the economy is being managed.
Okay.
So this suffering that we are is just a trickle down effect from above.
Okay.
So because the economy is not being run well, That is why all these problems are existing. So if we are to blame, largely we will blame the government.
Okay.
But when we come down to our level, yes, we are all struggling to survive. But the fact that we are all struggling doesn't mean we should feast on each other.
Okay. But then, don't you think we should apportion part of the blame to university students themselves? Because I believe that in a country, university students have an effect on government policies, right? But we are all in this country, we are all observing how they are running the economy, and we've all witnessed it, and we are all looking at it up to where it has reached. And now the effect has come on us, right? So don't you think we should blame university students as well?
Well, you see, this is a situation where nowadays it's very difficult to find someone with candid opinions, opinions that are not tied to political parties. It's very difficult. I mean, remember last year.
So everyone has become a political
last year, when we were just coming out of COVID, and we were proposing that government should waive school fees, and then you remember what NUX did, National News, remember what they did. So sometimes it's quite hard, I mean, to tell. Sometimes you come out and you try to, and it's either you are alone or people will tag you with some kind of, whether you belong to the opposition or you just want to sabotage the government.
Okay, so in conclusion, you are saying that partisanship is part of the problem?
Yeah, it's part of the problem. I mean, just like we are on campus here, we are trying to match the SRC good for good, to ensure that the right thing is done by us all, but sometimes they take us as though we are sabotaging their activities. Meanwhile, I mean, you don't get to impose certain things on us. You have to organize forums, to ask students how they think about what you are trying to do, and that we are university students. We are here training to be critical thinkers, or we are critical thinkers. So we need to come together from time to time to decide how we use our our limited resources.
Okay.
But you don't do that, and you just go and use our monies elsewhere. And now,
so has there been an instance where SLC imposed something on students?
I mean, for instance, like the data SIM package that they are talking.
All right. So away from that, we'll come back to that conversation, right? Yes, I believe Mr. Mohammed has a lot to say. Yes, so let me come to you before. Yes, Mr. Mohammed, quickly share your idea on this issue. Who should we blame?
Actually, like my earlier contention, the government of the day has to be blamed.
Okay.
And as I clearly said, we have a fund which we set up to support tertiary, secondary, and then primary education. And we are in a situation where we have a certain government diverting some of the revenues that are supposed to be directed to support these educational sectors, being diverted to a different sector. So definitely, the education sector will be lacking what it is supposed to have. And as I said earlier, if the education sector is supposed to have 100 million, this 75% being diverted, what it means is that the education sector will have 25 million. So definitely, the education sector has to resort to other source of funding, and the primary source of funding for education is the fee. They have to increase the fee. So meaning the primary problem or reason for the school fees increment is the university lacking some of the funds, revenue that they are supposed to have from debt fund.
Okay.
And this happened as a result of government decision to divert 75% of debt fund revenue that is supposed to go to education sector.
And now they put the burden on students.
On students.
Okay.
So meaning government has to be blamed.
Okay.
And this is undoubtedly a fact.
Okay, that's fine. So let me start this with you. So do you get value for the school fees you pay, including SRC dues? Do you think, in your own opinion, personally, do you get the value for the school fees you pay? Because I remember when we came level 100, we paid about, I think, 1,400 and something. Level 200, 1,586 or so. And then level 300, we are paying almost 2,000 Ghana cedis. So you can see the increment. So I'm asking this question because at the end of the day, the monies you are paying, you should be able to get value for it. As I said, including SRC dues, right? So do you think you get value for it?
Actually, it's a big no, 100% no. You don't get value for what you pay.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Imagine a university like this, a student pays 1,900. You go to a lecture hall, no fan. No, this is not fun. It's very devastating.
Okay.
No fan. No PA systems. even what lecturers are supposed to write on for students to copy is not available. You see during exams, students going around picking chairs, desks from a lecture hall to another exam center. So we are lacking furnitures, and we pay fee every year. And part of this fee, we have the portion that are supposed to be used for these furnitures. And yet again, they'll come out with, let me say, rhetorics to justify increment, when in actual sense, the students are not getting the value that they are supposed to get. You go to the library, no books. You go to a library that cannot contain 50 students. A university with a population of 8,000 don't have a library that contains 50 students.
So don't you think this is part of the reasons for, like, as a result of government diverting the GPEC distance out of that, all that? Don't you think that is a...
Though government has diverted something, you have taken fee from students, and those fees are meant for other things beside what external sources are supposed to do for you. As a university, you take fee. There are things you are supposed to do. If you go to other universities, you see infrastructure, you see structures that have been done either by the SRC or a department or a faculty in the school.
Okay, so you've spoken about the fees, so let me narrow it down to the SRC fees. Do you get value for the SRC?
Actually, no.
You've enjoyed the SRC weeks?
SRC weeks?
Yes.
What is enjoyment about SRC weeks? Did you pay dues purposely for entertainment?
Okay.
No. See, we have students who are vulnerable. Not all students are vulnerable, but we have some who are vulnerable. If you want students to know or to feel they are enjoying what they are paying for, at least SRC, from the dues you pay, you can have a scholarship scheme that you will award to students who are intelligent but needy.
What of those who are not intelligent but needy?
No, you don't have, sorry for me to say, you don't have to waste resources.
You don't have to waste resources?
Yes.
Really?
You give it to those who are in need of it, and you get value from it.
Okay.
But we don't have something like that.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I think, okay, you conclude.
You will see a time will come, they'll say SRC week celebration, they will invite artists to come and perform for only 10 minutes. And such artists will be given 30,000 Ghana cedis, that's 300 million Ghana cedis, when students are lacking books to read.
So basically, you are saying that students don't get the value for the school fees they pay, including the SRC dues they pay. It is being used for other stuff, not relating to even benefiting the students. For instance, you mentioned no PA system in lecture halls, no fans. The library, there are no books. The library cannot even contain up to how many students?
50 students.
All right, so I think these are very good concerns you've raised, and I think they are going to go out there for them to act accordingly. Yes, so Mr. Razak, yes, let me come to you. Maybe you have a different opinion. Yes, so do you get value for the money you pay, the fees you pay, the SRC dues you pay?
Well, I am a development student, and I understand that development is a process. It's not something that you can just move from A to B and that's it. So getting the value for the fees we pay or the monies we pay per se is I mean, we get some value for that, but not ideally. We could have gotten more, but we are moving forward.
So what are some of the values you think we get from paying?
If you look at when we came to school, I came to school in 2019. We had to attend lectures at Old Campus and at Pavilion, and even had to cancel some of your lectures because it was crashing with others. But now we are seeing that so many infrastructures are being put up, even though they are not completed yet. But we are able to use them, and so now I rarely see students attending lectures at Old Campus. Even some people used to write exams there, but now all these things is no more happening. So it means change is coming gradually. And the issue he mentioned.
But let me bring you back to this. So talking about the value, basically, the ideal or the fundamental reason why people come to school is to acquire knowledge.
Yes.
So now, if the environment or if the necessary items are not provided for them to be able to acquire that knowledge, then I don't think there is any value there. Because you've come to school for about 3 good years, you haven't seen a single fan in your lecture hall, meanwhile you have been paying dues. The chair you even sit on is not in a good shape. The board, the marker board is dilapidated, everything, like, it looks like you are still in a primary school or something, right? So at the end of the day, you are there to learn, right? Now, those things that are supposed to be made available for you to learn with easiness or with some kind of comfortability are not there. Look, some students have come to school for about 3 years, 4 years today, they don't even have results. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I'm much well aware of all.
Yeah, they pay school fees.
And
their portals, they can't access their portals.
let me say something.
So I am thinking that the basic value should be these ones, not even infrastructure. Before we even get to infrastructure, at the end of the day, the basic problem should be resolved.
Let me tell you something.
All right.
This is my final year.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that whatever is happening today is better than what happened since 2019 when I got here.
Really?
Yes. I mean, aside the new building that they have just gone, where students are now using, aside that place where there is no fans, even the auditorium, if you go there are fans that are working. You see, and you see, if we are talking about the value for the money we pay, which is the academic user facility, yes, I mean, it is not luxurious, but it's better than nothing. Aside those new halls, all the other places you go, there are fans in the halls, even including the pavilions. So I wouldn't say that we are not getting the value. We are getting, but not to the maximum.
Okay.
So and it's a step by step, and it will take a while for those things to go.
But don't you think we keep on saying that development is a step by step? That is what is keeping us back.
No.
Because sometimes they see certain things to be done, but they think it is step by step.
No, you see, we need money to be able to develop. If there was enough money, the school could have just taken it. You know.
So you're suggesting the fees we pay is not enough for development?
That per se, and I would like to touch on this issue of furniture. You know, when I came to school, I visited so many hostels, and when you go to those hostels, you will find furniture belonging to the school in those hostels. Sometimes I remember one time I had to fight with some students who are now in level 2, and I still know them. Okay. I saw them pick furniture from campus and they were sending it to their hostel.
So with regards to the furniture issue, students are part of the problem.
Students are part of the problem. Okay. Imagine if each and every student would pick a furniture to their hostel.
Okay.
What furniture would be in the lecture halls for us?
Right. So I think this is something to the student leadership have to take.
And always, I was telling Newton, if you come, you need to get the police or the school security to go in hostel by hostel. If you find a furniture, even a single table or chair in a room, those students who are in that room, they are supposed to buy chair each.
Okay.
That is even if they are able to provide whom brought it. If they don't get the person who brought it, they will buy one chair each, and the one who brought it should be rusticated.
Okay.
Because if each and every student is going to pick a furniture home, where would we find the chairs to sit especially when it comes to exam? So for that one, we are not to be blamed.
Okay, so I think during exams you see students running helter-skelter to
it is our own fault.
Get furniture to come and sit.
The lecturers wouldn't pick furniture.
All right, that's fine. Let me go to Honorable Hamdawi. Yes, so Honorable.
Okay.
Yes, so basically
I would like to start on my brother's point.
Okay, that's fine.
And even I need more time here to
relax.
talking certain things.
All right.
You know, the first speaker spoke about many things.
Okay.
You made mention of library, infrastructure, chairs, and everything. I also share the same opinion with Mr. Razak.
Okay.
Development is a process. Even the Ghana we are enjoying today wasn't like that 65 years ago.
Sure. Okay.
Certain people stood up and sacrificed. We are now enjoying this Ghana today. University as a whole, we should have feel the impact because it's a well-developed place. But we find ourselves in a very confined place, which is called UBIS. Like I said initially in one of my statements, University of Ghana today, they are over 70 years, and we are 3 years old. Definitely we can't compare ourselves to University of Ghana. Whatever that they are enjoying today was as a result of certain people's sacrifice. Even this current rupees that we are enjoying today is as a result of certain people's sacrifice. I can remember last I spoke to one woman in a car. The woman was telling me that when they were attending school here, sometimes have to leave as early as 4 a.m. to attend lectures at old campus. Because as at then there wasn't any car. You have to come and stand on the road till you get a car. Okay. So then today the rupees that we are enjoying, it wasn't like that. And it's a development, it's a process. Just like my brother mentioned, the issue of the furnitures. When we are to talk about the value for money, okay, for me, I would say that there's value for money. If you go to Hall 2 today, you see a certain number of furnitures which is packed. These are our monies that they use to purchase these furnitures. If you go to Pavilion, at the back of Pavilion, you see a new building there, building that they are putting up. It's a residential hall, over 80 bed capacity. The entrance, when I came in 2019, there wasn't any entrance. Even the first day that I dropped on campus, I was even wondering whether this is a school or a primary school, because there wasn't any entrance, and today there's entrance. So development as a whole is a process. Like the library he talked about, even when you go to library to learn, it contains even less than the 50 that he's talking about. But sometimes we also need to take certain policies for the future students to come and benefit. Like I said initially, my brother mentioned data SIM card.
Which I said we'll come back to.
Which he said we'll come back to. These are some of the policies that we the students leaders should take. And in the future, the school and even the students will benefit.
Okay.
We're taking this data SIM policy or initiative.
Right.
In the future, there's a possibility for them to come and establish or even build a modernized library, okay, even a computer lab for us.
Okay, so there's the possibility for Vodafone Ghana to come and build a huge library for SDDU base. This is the Scholars Forum. We'll go for a quick commercial break, and when we're back, we shall continue with the conversation. Thank you. Stay blessed. Welcome back to the show. This is the Scholars Forum, where we bring you the right guests and we ask the relevant questions in order to get you well informed. Yes, so gentlemen, we'll continue with our conversation. Yes, so Mr. Razak, let me start with you this time around. Yes, so we are trying to assess the role of student leaders, right? You know, the primary reason why we elect them is to represent our voices. So in situations like this, for instance, the increment of school fees and other stuff, do you think that the student leaders are effective or ineffective, in your own opinion, in your point of view? With all sincerity and honesty.
Yes, you know me, I'm not fond of mincing my words, and I think they are not effective. That is in my opinion. They may disagree with me. Okay. And if you are going to consider, I mean, this is Hamdaway here. Okay. He's the NUCS president, local NUCS president in this school, okay, and he's aware of how the national NUCS has encouraged all students to resist any management increasing the fees above. Okay. And he has seen what is happening in this school. At least he was supposed to mobilize students to lead a delegation, okay, I mean, either to management or even to the national NUCS to inform them of the development that is happening, but I'm sure that's not been done, so he's not being effective. If you look at the SRC, I mean, we've been in contact with the SRC, especially the president, Newton, on so many occasions, and just trying to ensure that at least before you even try to bring the fees down, let us see a breakdown. We just want to see the components of what we are paying for, sometimes, so that we will appreciate what we are paying for. But they don't want to release it. So it's as though they just like someone asks you to design a budget for a particular program, okay, then you just decide to go and fabricate items. And you don't want them to know that you have fabricated items. So for that matter, you won't show them a breakdown. You just come with a total amount, okay, and you ask them to pay. So that's the problem. You go to the account office asking for a breakdown, they direct you to SRC. You go to SRC, they direct you to this. So for me, per se, I am saying that by Monday, we would go back to the Dean of Students to find out what they have done so far with regards to the breakdown. If that is not done, we are taking the matter to the High Court. Yes, they are charging us ambiguous fees. We need to know what we are paying for. The NUCs and SRC, they can't send budget to the management without singling out every component of the budget. So why would they push something? I mean, it's an insult on our intelligence. It is as though they are training morons here. I mean, they just push it to us and they expect us to accept it. So it's as though they are aware that they are just raising morons. So, and to prove to them that we are not morons and we are really intelligent, we are demanding that they show us that. We wrote a letter to them. There was a deadline on it.
Okay.
But the Dean of Students kindly suggested that we hold on to the measures we underlined to take if they didn't do what we wanted, in exchange for him to take up the matter.
Okay.
But we haven't heard anything, and we didn't proceed because of this interview. So once this is done and we haven't seen anything, we are taking up the issue.
Okay. I think that's a very great step in order to ensure that the student interest is being served.
Yeah.
So in your own opinion, you feel that student leaders are not really trying their best in serving or in serving the interest of the students.
Yes, locally, and also when you look at nationally. I mean, some of them now, this political parties, especially NDC and NPP, they are creeping in, and now you will see the associations. How do they call them? The you see, they are creeping in. So some of the student leaders, they belong to those associations.
Oh, okay.
So those the TESCON is that the NPP one.
Yes.
So if let's say if Newton is belonging to a TESCON member, now that the NPP government is messing up,
okay.
he can't dare talk about what they are doing wrong because he belongs to that party. And that is why, for me, I cannot be in.
So I think all these conversations sometimes boils down to partisans.
Yes,
so even student leaders are into partisan politics.
Yes.
And so that stops them from speaking the truth to power.
Yes.
All right,
it makes
fine.
them ineffective. And just to sum up,
okay.
just recently I saw something about government using a strategy that they have to go into tertiary institutions to get the boys.
No.
So they are going to tertiary institutions to warp the minds of students to come in for party. So
did they really say that?
I mean, he said it. They will come into increased pain, or what do they call that?
Yes, yes.
So they are coming into increased.
So I think that one is part of political strategy. So
it's part of political strategy, but it makes us ineffective.
All right, that's okay.
We're supposed to be non-partisan, neutral,
okay.
And we should be those. Trying to demand for the right thing to be done by the nation. But now,
so once you become a student leader, you need to remove your political lenses so that you can be able to serve.
Think sustainably.
Well. All right, that's okay. Thank you so much for this wonderful submission. Yes, Mr. Mohammed. Yes, with regards to the issue of student leaders.
Actually, I see them to be ineffective in a sense that representation is linked to what? Democracy, right?
Okay.
And some of the dividends that promote democratic practices are consultation, deliberation, and then some of this representation. Okay. If we have a body that is set up to represent the aspirations and then the interests of the students, and then the body itself does something that is in contrast to the interest of the students, where is the representation? To say we have we have a body that is supposed to represent students.
Okay.
And then a body is implementing a policy.
Okay.
Without the necessary procedures. If you look at chapter 13 of the SRC Constitution.
Okay.
Is it Article 4?
Okay.
It says SRC notes dues or any levy to be paid by the student body shall be what? Debated and approved by the General Assembly.
Yes.
You are representing us by democratic practice. We are implementing a policy. We have to consent. And we have constituted an assembly where that consent has to be effected. That is the GA.
Okay.
So the policy you are bringing in our name per the constitution has to be debated, because we have reps, that's the faculty reps, they represent the students there.
So has there been any policy of that sort?
But for example, if you look at this data scene,
Okay.
it has been even enrolled before even the GA was constituted.
So per the constitutional provision, can we then
We can
say
take them-
that it is illegal?
It is illegal.
Okay.
It is illegal. You can take us, I'm part of the SRC, you can take us.
So I think one of the issues with this data SIM card, I didn't want us to talk much about it. I want
Yes,
us
I
to
know.
discuss it more in our next
Yes,
show.
I know.
But then you know something? The issue with this data SIM card is that most students are not even well informed. Because some students feel that they haven't paid anything for the SIM card. Meanwhile, in the actual sense, they have paid it as part of their school fees. But the other way, if you meet them, they will say, oh, it's free. It's a free SIM card.
Let me talk of the representation and then the effectiveness
Okay.
of SRC. They are not representing us, and they are not being effective. For instance, if you look at this document,
Okay.
it is a letter that authorizes the increment of the fee.
Okay.
It's a letter from the tech. And reading that letter, it will tell you that the 15% increment should be effective on the last approved rates. And from the previous years, if not 2019, those of us who were enrolled in 2019, that was the only year that the tech approved an increment through Parliament. And we have a particular year
Okay.
in UBase
Okay.
where the school increased fee by 8%.
Okay.
And for only particular level,
Okay.
that's the current level 300s.
Okay.
And SRC goes from media house to media house, justifying the increment.
Okay, so for the purposes of records, right?
Yes.
I can't read the whole letter, but let me read this out. Please be advised, therefore, that fees and charges applicable in all public tertiary education institutions for the 2022-2023 academic year may be adjusted by up to a maximum of 15% of the last approved rates. Of the last approved rate. So I think this is the most important
You
thing.
understand?
So it means that the 15% should affect what the student paid the last
The
year.
last one, not
Okay.
last year, the one that was approved by GTEC.
Okay.
That, you see, those who came 2020
Okay.
paid the one that is approved by GTEC in 2019. So after 2019, due to the heat of the pandemic, there haven't been any increment. There haven't been any deliberation to increase fees.
Okay.
So meaning these current level 300s, if they are supposed to pay the 15%, it should be effective on the first fee they paid
Okay.
in their time of admission,
Okay.
not the one they paid in level 200, because that increment was illegal. The school don't have that jurisdiction to increase that fees. It is the tech, and even the tech has to pass through Parliament for approval.
So it means that, it simply means that the point you are making is that the fees we are paying currently is not even what we are supposed to pay.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I think we are talking in relation to SLC being effective.
Yes.
They are silent.
So if we have a body that is representing our aspirations, they should be, sorry to say, they should be rational to go in for some of these things and then fight for our
I think
interests.
you have to withdraw that word.
Okay, I'm sorry, I withdraw. I withdraw.
Yes.
I withdraw. I'm sorry, I withdraw.
Yes,
I
but
withdraw.
per the context.
Yes, I withdraw.
No.
They should be committed
Okay.
in serving us. They should go for some of these things
Okay.
and follow up. That's the essence of tertiary education.
Okay.
It shouldn't be, anything that comes
All
with
right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed. He is simply saying that since SRC is representing students, they should be committed to be able to fight for the interest of students.
I'm in the middle. You see, some of the points which is raised by the other.
So I think this question is really very important to you because
It's important to me, but I think
You are
that the
explaining
time
it.
you are giving me is not fair. If I'm to touch on them and also present my personal opinion,
Okay.
so the time will run fast.
Okay, so I'll give you the time. Go on.
Okay.
But summarize it for us.
Okay, first of all, I want to touch on the honorable member. He made mention of a scholarship fund.
Okay.
He said he's not getting the impact of the scholarship, the students' fund, or the dues that we are paying.
Yes.
Yes. There's a fund that we are bringing up.
Okay.
Looks in partnership with SRC.
Okay.
We are dedicating part of our money, our resources, to set up a fund to cater for needy students.
Do you know one thing? Let me refer you back. You see, I interviewed the past, I think, Major One, the administration.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to interview them, and they said that they have reserved, I cannot get the amount totally, but then it was like 100,000 for, if you go to our YouTube page, you still get the video there, for this particular issue you are talking about, that they have reserved that money to support students. Now, we interviewed the current, the recent outgoing SRC President Kadi, and she said that there wasn't anything like that. And here you are saying the same thing.
Okay, you see, with Major One or any other person, I'm not here to talk for them. I'm here to talk for myself. Kadi will tell you that they came and met 0 accounts.
Okay.
You get it. But we are lucky enough to meet some amount of money. We are not spending that money. We are dedicating our administrative funds. Already the process has started. This guy is part of the administration. He will testify with me that there is a particular committee called a scholarship committee. This is the very reason why we created this committee.
So do you know one thing? It's not about creating the committee, or it's not about saying or bringing it up. Student leaders have brought so many things up. Meanwhile, it doesn't go through. So we need to see results.
That's what I'm saying. It's in a pipeline. You get it. It's in a pipeline. You know, everything is a process. You can't just get up today now and say, oh, we are giving out scholarship. We need to interview students, get the genuine people and give this amount of money. And we need people involved. I'm not here to only talk on that. Let me move away.
So by percentage,
you also made mention of...
By percentage, you said the process has already started.
Yes.
So by percentage, how would you measure it? Where have you reached?
I can say
30%?
we are even more than 30%. I can't measure it in terms of percentage.
Okay.
Because it's a process and we need to expand the accounts. Okay.
Okay.
Are we dedicating the money? It's not that's the only thing that we want. We need to reach out to stakeholders to also deposit to this particular fund.
So at the moment, you can say you are at around 10%.
No.
Because we haven't yet met stakeholders.
We are not here to talk purposely on this.
All right, so let's go ahead.
I just want you to know that there's a particular thing that we call scholarship fund,
Okay.
Of which is part of our intention. And also, you also mentioned of oriented, that is knowledge-oriented impact. I feel like this school, we are having that impact. Okay. If you can remember, 2019 was it 2020? The business school, they went and one particular contest, business tertiary science challenge or something like that. So in that contest too, we have the impact or the value for our money over there. Okay, right. Let's now tackle with that of the student leaders, whether they are influential or effective, having impact or are they effective
or ineffective with regards to student interest.
Okay. Mr. Razak made mention of the breakdown of school fees. You trust leadership with a tax. You don't have to be brouhaha on certain things. Everything is a process.
So I think it depends on the timeline.
I'm coming. Everything is a process. Even if you petition someone today to bring out something, you need to take time. You get it? Breakdown is just a document. Okay? And it can even take less than 30 minutes to present that particular document. But as far as the person who is in charge to submit that document is not around, there's no way you can force that particular person.
That's why we have
They're
deputies.
told to come and take the document.
That's why we have deputies.
And we are
that is why we have deputies. We have chancellor, we have vice chancellor, we have dean of students, we have
all these people that you are mentioning, they are not in charge of it.
So
okay.
But the person in charge of it should have a
director
deputy.
is not.
And that's what we are saying. We have been told to come for the document.
Okay.
And
so it means that you are not going for it.
We are going for it. We take it and give it to them.
How long? Like it has been over a month. I mean, it's
when did,
so that's why I said,
when did you draft this?
Sometimes it depends on the timeline you've given.
I don't know.
We know that it's a document.
He's talking as a UDS student.
you
Whether
guys
it's
are
making
completely ridiculous.
Continue. You make your submission.
Okay. He made mention of ineffectiveness on the part of student leaders. You know, collectively, not every student leader can be effective. Okay, but certain students are there, or certain student leaders are there. They take up their tasks and their responsibility.
So if you cannot be effective, why go in for the office?
Come on, man.
Like, come again.
I said,
Okay.
You said that not all student leaders can be effective. And I'm simply saying that if you know you cannot be effective, why go in there? Nobody forced you.
I'm not talking based on individually, I'm talking generally. If you analyze certain things or if you do research, you got to realize that certain people are just in the office, but not everybody. Okay.
For example,
I can't give examples,
You
but
can
when I know
use.
that someone will take a position but he will not follow up.
Yes, that is a
do
fact.
certain things.
That
It's
is a fact. That is a fact.
You get it.
But our concern
And
is that
if
you know you cannot do the work. Why do you have to go in there?
Well, that's
So it means we take student leadership just like, maybe I was the senior prefect in my senior high school, so I can become the SSC president. I think it's beyond that. We need to offer that.
I say, well, that's up to them. Okay, and if we are to talk about this, it will generate a lot of chaos.
Exactly.
Okay, limiting it down to
are you effective?
We the student leaders on campus.
I am the host.
Limiting it down to we the student leaders on campus. I want him to state maybe one of the things or maybe one of the reasons why he said student leaders they are not effective.
You want him to state that?
State.
When you are done.
Maybe you can bring it up.
So you need a reason why he said student leader, just one reason.
That's one reason.
Okay.
I thought I used to as a classical example.
On what?
I mean, you are the local NUCS president,
Yes.
and the school seems to be charging the fees beyond the 15% threshold.
And you've done nothing. So that means
So
Okay,
as a subordinate of the national
SLC
NUCS
is
president,
ineffective.
Come in, he has mentioned a point.
Okay.
I want to
haven't
state
even
for a
finished, but
fact.
you've already
The
brought it
national
to me.
NUCS president called me.
Okay.
Hamdawi, your school, are they charging more than 15%? I told him no, we are not charging more than 15%. Do you have any fact to go with this?
So
We are not,
you mean
I'm coming.
going to open
The
my
school,
portal.
they charge in the threshold of the 15%. And whatever that you are to do, yours is to appeal to them.
okay.
To reduce the 15% to either
So
10, 12 or
you don't believe
8%.
that the school has charged more than the
It's not, it's a fact.
Okay.
Where have they increased it more than 15%?
Last year, how much did you pay? We can do the math here.
We can do the math.
Last year, how much did you pay?
I paid 1,621.
1,600.
Yes.
And how much are you paying now? Somebody should help us with the math.
1,904.
1,904.
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. And you and I know that there's a particular initiative that we are bringing.
So I think someone should use your fees and do the calculation. Let's see something.
Which is
Yeah,
the data
his
seed
phone
bank.
is quite far.
Coming.
Mine is just close by.
Okay, so we let him.
No, we are using my.
No.
You can't tell me both your
No,
figures.
we are all students. You see, last year I paid 1,388,
Okay.
and 15% of it out.
Which school are you talking on?
You see,
It's okay.
Listen, the school we are talking.
Okay,
So it's
you can't sit there
We are not
and just,
talking about
and
whether
just
school
talk
or
with
not.
that fact.
Do
We
you
are
know
talking
something?
on fact.
You see,
Okay.
we are talking about the we are not talking about whether you belong to UBIS or you even with the
I'm coming,
UBIS.
please.
I'm not having the exact figures.
I'm
Okay.
narrowing
Mr.
it
Mohammed
down.
said you have the time. Don't worry. You talk. Okay.
You see, this one has nothing to do with UDS or UBIS.
Okay.
Thank you.
The last time GTEC had approved fee was 2019,
Okay.
and that was the approvement to which we paid.
Okay, preamble to that. What did GTEC say? Did they say you should pay your fees based on 2018 fees or last
They said
year's fees?
the last, they didn't
Last
say
year,
last
Last
approved.
approved.
Is it? It's not last year's fees.
No,
they
they
said
said
last approved.
in the
Last
letter.
approved.
This is the letter.
So that means the last
No,
one
this
is
is the
just
letter.
approved.
I'm coming.
Last
Assuming that.
approved.
So-
Assuming that
Okay.
GTEC they approve.
Are you refuting this letter?
They
You
GTEC
let
they
him learn.
approve for a particular program.
Okay.
To be paid, let's assume that 1,006 or maybe 1,005 in 2018. You had admission in 2019, and the school fees has been increased due to certain things. Are you referring to the 2018 approved, or you are referring to the one that you paid?
What
So-
I'm saying is that
Okay.
the last time GTEC approved fees was 2019,
And it's stated here.
and it stated
Right.
here, and
It
2023.
really takes them every 4 years to increase fees.
What I'm saying
Okay,
is that
and if they are increasing fees, they are not telling us.
Okay,
that
so
based on
let me ask you a question, a simple question. Hello. So aside GTEC, does the university have the right to increase school fees at any time they want?
No, I'm telling this my brother that
Okay.
the school haven't increased any school fees.
Okay.
And I'm saying
that
it
is
for a
your
fact.
opinion.
But they
The,
haven't.
the increment is only on the 15%, which is approved.
So you see, we are talking based on facts.
Based on fact, if you have any fact, you can
Okay, the fact here is
you
that
can sit down as any
the
person
year
to
we were
just-
admitted, the year we were admitted, we
Okay.
paid 1,400 and 1,400 and some figures.
I'm coming. Please,
So let
it's an
land.
intellectual debate.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk on the fact of
Please kindly
the
conclude for
data
us.
sim. The data sim, it was rolled out to a number of students to fill a Google form, of which they will either reject or either approve. At the end of the day, this school currently, we are having a population of 6,001 students, 6,100 students. Out of the 6,100 students, over 4,500 students said yes.
Where are the records?
And you can come for it.
All right,
Okay.
we will trace for it.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering how something like this will go around and people like us haven't even seen it like this.
If
It's surprising.
definitely it's a masses, and if you don't show interest, we are not going to force you to fill that particular form. And as far as majority,
but you know something? So with what you just said,
I'm coming.
Let me put something in. So you said that over how many students? 4,000.
500.
No, I mean those that approved. That said they won the SEM. They were how many?
Over 4,000 students.
Over 4,000 students. How did you do this consultation? Because I have a course rep in my class, right? And I think that course reps should have been consulted, giving that document to them so that they will share it on the class pages.
Yes.
That way you could reach out to even all the students. But here is the case, I don't even know how did you even conduct this
It was
particular
not even a
research?
closed survey. Anybody outside the school could access it and participate.
Exactly.
So how
Even
do
you
we...
yourself, you can see to.
All right, so that is just by the
My
way.
brother.
I didn't even need myself personally. I didn't see the
No,
film.
I saw it, but
Brother,
I didn't
fill the
respond
form.
to it.
Boss, did you fill the form?
No, I didn't even see it.
I didn't feel. I saw it, but I saw it, but
All
I
right.
didn't feel
You
it.
saw, but you didn't fill.
Yes.
But you saw the form.
I saw
you
it.
testified that there was a form.
I
that
mean,
they
you
were filling.
created it was
Okay, so at the end of the day, I would like you to present the records that these are the number of students. But away from that, before you implement a policy, is it not having a procedure is supposed to pass?
The procedure was duly followed.
Are you sure?
Was there
Your constitution
Okay.
specified that before ASAPs implement any policy.
I know the constitution more than you.
Yes. So before the ASAPs implement any
Let me come
policy,
inside.
listen. Before the ASAPs implement any policy, it has to be discussed, debated, and assigned and accepted by the GA, because the GA has all representatives around the school, so they want it to be discussed there.
I want to ask you a
Are you
question.
aware that you implemented
Don't
this
ask
project
questions, you
even
answer.
before the GA was formed?
Were you there in the last?
even before Newton was sworn
You
in?
know that before an administration will leave, they will have to negotiate and determine the dues, the SRC dues that we are to pay.
What we are talking about here is that.
No, I'm coming.
I think this is based on data center.
I don't want you to develop
No, like-
the contention.
He's deflecting your question.
I'm
All right.
asking
So
questions to answer each
let's
question.
conclude. We've taken a lot of
We have
time.
to justify
No,
it.
conclude.
So before that particular administration left,
Okay.
one, they debated on the dues that we had to pay as SRC dues, which was approved. The data sim package was presented to them, of which they debated on it. You get it? Because we
The outgone SLC board
It was-
debated on the data sim.
it was presented to them. They looked through it.
And they
they
debated.
realized that this is a very good initiative.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm coming. To be sincere with
That's
you,
not true.
I don't believe this, but I cannot say it is not true, right? But you said they debated on it, and they accepted, and they signed.
Myself personally, I wasn't part of the last G.
Okay.
But per what I know, the data sim policy was presented to them.
All right, so I think
Whether they debated on it,
So-
they generally accepted or whatever.
so let's put the data sim card aside. We'll have a full show to discuss the details of it, right? So conclude for us.
conclude. Okay. So
Yes, just conclude for us. Your what is the way
in
forward?
a nutshell,
Okay.
them saying, partisanship, leadership, these things, leadership and learning, they are indispensable.
Okay.
And whatever shoe that you are feeling in,
Okay.
sometimes you need to learn.
Okay.
And there's no way that you are to learn, and sometimes these national partisanship things will not come in. Even this time around, most of the students leaders, they are deep thinkers. They sometimes have to go through, they sometimes Sorry, you are distracting the issue.
You talk. Don't worry, go on.
They sometimes have to learn through these leaders.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
They are mentors. Some of them they also mentor them.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
So in a nutshell,
Okay.
individually, we are different.
Okay.
And the effectiveness of leaders
Okay.
it depends on how he takes his tax.
Okay.
You can be an NDC boy or an NPP boy.
Okay.
But it depends on sometimes how he defends certain things.
Okay. So should we believe in you that you're going to be very effective?
I want to make an example to someone.
Okay.
Dennis Abdelabi.
Okay.
He's an MPP guy.
Okay.
I'm stating it on records.
Okay.
But sometimes the pressure he mounts on this current government,
Okay.
even think that this guy, like, is a CPP or any other person.
Okay.
These are the clear example of student leaders
Okay.
who match partisan politics good for good.
So let's bring it down to you.
Me personally,
Yes.
I'm a neutral person.
Okay.
Okay, and whatever issue that I'm tackling it with genuity.
Okay.
If I'm tackling certain things, whether it's wrong or it's right,
Okay.
when it's right, I'll make sure it's right.
Okay.
When it's wrong, I'll make sure it's wrong.
Okay.
That's why he was stating that they've increased it more than 15%, and I was trying to tell him that no, because they increase it in a rightful way, there's no way that I can take guns to go and fire them.
All right.
I have to
So
appeal to
you
them.
are our local NUTS president, and we expect more from you, right? Yes. So moving forward, we will be bringing you more on this show for interactions like this, right? Yes. Honorable Razak.
Yeah.
Yes. What is the way forward? Your conclusion. Your last remarks.
I think it's very obvious.
Okay.
You said how many students?
Let's not go back to there.
No, I'm not going back there. I just
I want
chanced
to-
on it, and the
We've
only-
already spent a lot of time.
The response on it is how many? 287 response, and he said over 4,000.
So that is a data
This is
SIM
it.
card record.
This is it.
Okay. So I said we'll get
No,
time.
my guy is not with his words. He made mention that I didn't fill the form. How did he get this?
I have the rec- you see,
But
I
this is records.
No, it's
I
not
keep it.
records. He
Look
said
at
he has
those
never.
records.
He has
I
never-
saw it, but I didn't participate.
Maybe by the
I have
time
the
someone
record.
showed this form, that
Listen,
was after the-
listen.
No, it's a collective something.
2026,
Once you
I
put
didn't
the number
vote, and I have
increase,
the information.
once
Yes, yes,
once
so-
you
so-
put the
so-
number increase to a
No,
certain
no,
number,
I didn't
So
vote.
if you are the first person to
It's
fill
okay.
it,
It's okay. So I said you have an extensive conversation
Mr. Artist.
on this particular data
You
SIM
get
card
it.
issue. Yes. So
Let
let's
me
just.
take a screenshot so that we don't lose it.
All right. So Mr. Mohammed, what are you
No,
laughing?
I haven't said anything. I
All right.
just chanced on this.
So quickly conclude.
So you see, it's as though our leaders are in office to make profit. They are not there to effect change. Because if you are there to effect change, you are not supposed to impose anything on students. That's why you have to create forums so that people would discuss. That's why they sent you to teach the community.
My point is even that. Why couldn't they wait for students to come?
You see,
you do the necessary consultation.
desperate.
Why would they be
You see,
at home and then you send forms?
They are desperate. They are desperate, and they are lying about the figures. Now you have seen it. It's just like when we realize about figures.
you can't just sit there and go and take any data.
Anyway, that's fine.
It
That's
will be
fine.
a data for a different.
So I believe you are done right. I believe you are done right.
Well, the way forward, I think you people sometimes you need to be compassionate with the people that you are representing.
Student leaders, right?
Yes,
Don't refer to him. Refer
No,
to
student
leaders.
leaders,
No, let him
student leaders, and him per se,
Okay.
because I would say that I was also part of those. I mean, who made efforts for him to get to where he is today. So I will feel proud if he's able to do good, and I will feel like I'm responsible if he didn't do well.
No.
So you people, you need to be compassionate, and you need to try to think sustainably, and don't just do things because of what you stand to gain. It's
Okay.
because, like, for example, like this data set, it's as though the SRC is pushing it through because of the kickback they will get from it,
No.
not because of the benefits or even the
So
long
there
term.
may be some kickback SRC could get from.
I mean, otherwise, why would you be forcing? I mean, something to me like this whole package. It won't do me anything. I can spend more than 30 gigabytes within a week,
Okay.
and you are giving me even the initial arrangement. It was 5 gig, but now it's 2 point something.
And your paid net is something Ghana cities
You
for.
get it? I mean,
Alright.
it's ridiculous.
Yes, that's okay. So Mr. Mohammed, your last
It's
question.
a whole policy on this one. And if you don't understand policy, you need to ask
Yes,
questions and
yes.
get the
We'll-
right
we'll
answers.
talk about it as a policy. We will speak about it as a
Another day
policy.
we will talk about
Yes,
it.
another day we'll
I'm
talk
coming
about
there.
it.
This thing wasn't part of the debate. And you can't just come and ambush anyone from any place.
Yes, it's not an
I'm
ambush.
talking him to the fact that this thing that he's presenting, even the data
Okay.
data was close even if he went and is opening anything, like I can't
That is,
justify.
we haven't drawn conclusion that what he has presented is actually the real thing because we haven't gotten the data yet, right? So we haven't concluded on what he presented. When we come to discuss the data SIM card as a full policy, then we'll get all those documents and then we discuss it at length, right? Yes. So Mr. Mohammed, your last word.
And what I have to say to end this program is, our leaders should know that the position they are occupying, they are not occupying those positions for themselves, but rather they are occupying those positions for people who trusted their mandate and put their responsibility in their hands. So whatever you are doing, bear in mind that you will have to account to the people either here or hereafter. We shouldn't forget about God though. You understand? You either account to the people or hereafter. And also to the people, the students, it is time for you to know the only time you are included in decision making is during elections. And when it is time for election, you need to make a rational decision. You shouldn't be overwhelmed by these emotional demagogueries where people come to tell you what they think you are ready to hear just to win your votes. Don't be overwhelmed by those things. Assess those people in so many forms and get to know, are these people really ready to serve, or they are coming for personal accumulations in terms of helping with some work, in terms of popularity or name seeking, or they are ready to serve our interests.
Okay.
We should consider those things before we cast our vote.
All right.
We shouldn't vote for.
All right. Thank you so much. So from Honorable Mohammed, he said students should look beyond the fact that somebody is in your class. You should look beyond the fact that someone is your friend. You should look beyond the fact that you are free with someone. Let's vote based on quality, based on abilities, based on what the person has to offer. So don't just go and vote for someone because you feel that, okay, this is my friend. At the end of the day, they will come and will continue to be in this mess. So gentlemen, we are bringing our conversation to an end, and I thank you so much for making time to join us. I appreciate your efforts and I appreciate your presentations. Of course, whatever that happens inside this room, once we leave here, it's gone, right? Yes, but we'll have another time to discuss extensively on the data SIM card. Yes, it will be a full argument, and I'll make sure that the SRC PRO or the secretary is part of that particular program so that we can be able to ask more questions and get more clarification from it. Yes. So this is the scholars from where we inform to reform. So on social media platforms, if you search through any social media platforms, WhatsApp, YouTube, anywhere at all, you are going to get the scholars from there. Please, when you go on YouTube, try and subscribe. These are the kind of conversations we have here to get people well informed on what is actually happening on the ground. This is purely student program. Yes, we bring them on board to express their point of view, to share their ideas and all. So thank you so much. We'll bring the show to an end. See you next week. Thank you. Bye.